Hi, welcome to Bruce's Garage. I'm Bruce, and this is my garage. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I am working on my GX550. It's brand new, and I wanted to put a shelf in the back using 2 Molle panels and the metal shelf from Rago Fabrication. So I'm going to walk you through all the equipment needed and the total installation process as I do it to get this Molle panels and shelf on the inside of my GX550 so I have some additional storage. So come on in and let's have some fun. The first thing I like to do if I'm going to install something or be working on something that I haven't done before, so I like to get my instructions together, all the equipment that I need, and all the items that the product came with. So you'll see here I have the Molle panels, all the equipment that's needed. I printed out these instructions. They have some really great instructions on the installation, tells you all the equipment that you'll need, so I could have everything in place. Then I checked to make sure I had all the items that were supposed to come with it and everything that I needed, including, by the way, they give you a couple pieces of candy here and Dad's root beer, which is some of my favorite candy. So we got all that in place, and now I'm ready to really start preparing to work on the installation. All right, now that we have got all the tools and equipment that we need to install, we're going to head into the GX back here and start with the first steps using our trim removal tools. And by the way, these are new trim removal tools that I just purchased not that long ago from Detail Factory. I got these on the Rag Company. And of course, I will have links to every product and everything I'm using in the description below in case you're interested. But these are really, they've got several different trim tools and I really like them. First of all, I support Detail Factory, makes great stuff. These are nice, heavy, durable plastic. So something to think about if you need some trim removal tools. Well, let's get started. All right, so the first step that we have to do here is to remove these hand grab rails. And we can just put the trim removal tool, that pops open. There we go. We're going to take our 10mm socket and remove. Remember to retain all the hardware because we're going to reuse this. All right, got that out. We're going to save all that hardware. Okay, the next step is we need to remove this piece of trim. This one tends to be a little bit harder because you can't really get leverage in here. And I used kind of 2 tools. To pop it out. All right, once that's out, then we need to remove that bolt that's in there. I did save this, although that is not reused for this installation. Next thing you're going to want to do is pull out this extension piece here. And you can see it's got the nut and bolt, or a bolt, and then we've got this end that we're going to remove. We just screw this by hand, this extension piece in. That goes in very easy. Then we can unscrew this bolt and washer. And of course, we're going to save this because this is what we're going to use to secure the Molle panel to this bottom. The next thing we're going to do is get everything aligned to make our marks in order to drill. And yes, in your brand new car, you're going to have to drill to install this. And you can kind of see how this is going to go. Now, we're going to have to tighten some of these up because we want to get accurate marks for where we're going to drill 3 holes. So the 3 holes, we're going to drill 1, 2, and 3, but we need to get this positioned and tightened up enough of what it's going to be like once we have it fully installed. So we're only drilling once. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten all of these up, take this off, tighten it up. Then we're going to make the marks for the drilling. So now we're going to drill. I have 3 holes marked. We're using a step drill bit, which was what was recommended. The recommendation is to go to 7/16. I would not go to 7/16 as I found that was a little bit big. We're going to start here. And I know I'm not there yet, but what I like to do is just take my rivet nut. You know, I'm still too small, so go a little bit bigger. And I like to do this slowly, so I'm not creating a hole that's too big. I probably do have to go a couple more times. Yeah, I don't think I'll fit it in, but I do want it really tight. Yep, and there we go. And see how tight that fits in there? That's what you want. So my suggestion is to go really, really slow as you're drilling these. Yep, this is perfect. All right, so we're going to put all of these back in loosely here first. Just because we want to get it up there, but we may need to adjust again to make sure we're aligned with our holes over here. So we want to make sure everything aligns. I'm taking the 3 bolts and putting them in those rivet nuts. Just making sure everything's going to align. Then I can take my hex we can tighten these up. This is the 3/32 hex. Don't know if the instructions said I needed that, but you do. Close those up. Everything seems very tight, secure. And now we've got both Molle panels installed. Now we're going to move on to the shelf installation. And I wanted to show you just how well everything is packaged. Rago really does a nice job of packaging. You can see everything's nice, thoroughly packed in here, wrapped, bubble wrap, everything you need, and the bonus candies in here as well. So pretty good. I'm going to unpack all of this, and we're just going to go through the same process of looking at what tools we need and getting those out and getting everything laid out. All right, once everything is unpacked, you can see all of the pieces that came with this for the shelf. Again, there's 3 pieces of the shelf itself. And then you have 4 mounting brackets, 2 on each side, a whole lot of hardware, your candy, and then the tools you need: 7/16 socket, 7/16 wrench, and a 5/32 hex, and the instructions, which I've printed out. All right, so basically now we're taking the 3 pieces of the shelf, taking the 2 outer sides, the 2 outer pieces, with the middle piece, which has the Rago logo, and you slide them in, and then we're going to secure them back here on this part, and we're only going to tighten these loosely at this point. So at this point, we're going to bring we're going to put 3 screws in here. So 1 in this upper piece here. And then we add the washer. And then the nut. So it looks like the instructions have 1 here on top and then 2 on this bottom piece here, or in the bottom hole. I am going to tighten these a little bit, but I'm not going to make them tight at all. We want to keep them pretty loose so we can adjust the shelf. We also have 2 other screws that go on here and bolt on the inside, and then 2 more will go right here and bolt on the inside. Then you can see the shelf essentially is built, but loose so that we can adjust it before we secure it inside the vehicle. All right, so now we have a few more things to do outside the vehicle. We are going to install 3 more screws right in here, and also right in here. And those will go in this direction with the washer on the inside and the nut on the bottom of the shelf. And installing the shelf, basically, you've got your brackets that are right here, and you can see there's 3 screws that go on there. So we have 3 here, 3 in the back over here, and then you've got the same thing on the other side. And so that's how you get the shelf in place. Then you can tighten down all of these screws when you get everything to the right length. And I definitely suggest having 2 people when you're doing this shelf. The shelf's kind of heavy, and it's certainly awkward to adjust the length as well as getting it all secure. At that point, everything is completely secure. The shelf is all in place, and provides just another great location for storage while you still have plenty of storage below here under the shelf. Keep in mind, if you have the tonneau cover, that's what used to go in here. So you can no longer use the tonneau cover. But other than that, that's to be expected. I just think it's a great job, does really a great way to have additional storage. Hope you enjoyed this installation of the Rago Molle panels and the shelf in my 2025 Lexus GX550. This is designed also for the Toyota Land Cruiser. So works in both vehicles, worked really well, looks really nice. So I would allow yourself more than a couple of hours to do this. And if you have a second person, I think that would make a huge difference. Make sure you have all your tools laid out. Other than that, I think it's excellent. It seems like a very well-made product. So check them out at Rago Fabrication. They're really good. I'll have links in the description below. And I appreciate you visiting my garage today. If you're new and you just found me because of this video related to the Molle panel and shelf, I do a lot of car detailing. Take a look at other videos on my channel. Love it if you would subscribe if you're interested in detailing or taking care of your vehicle like I do. Appreciate you coming in the garage today. Just remember, go out in your garage and have some fun.